So first, going into the Mauryan Empire, we must know that the Mauryan Empire was founded in 4th century BC. The Mauryan Empire was founded in 4th century BC, and the ruler who founded the Mauryan Empire name was Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta Maurya founded the Mauryan Empire. So Chandragupta Maurya founded the Mauryan Empire. It was the vast empire, one of the largest empire. So he defeated many rulers and extended. The Mauryan Empire became a vast empire. It was more and more extended by Chandragupta Maurya. Then it was succeeded by his son Bindusara, who also helped in extending the boundaries of the Mauryan Empire. So next, after Bindusara, his son came, whose name was Asoka. So Asoka, we also know from his name the Asoka the Great. So Asoka, what he did, he fought a Kalinga war. So he defeated the ruler in the Kalinga war. So he won the victory. He got the victory in the Kalinga war. And after this Kalinga war, there was several changes came in Asoka's life, personal life as well as in his political life. So this is the main thing topics which we are going to learn here. So in this Mauryan Empire, first Chandragupta Maurya founded the Mauryan Empire in 4th century BC. He was succeeded by his son Bindusara, and then Bindusara's son Asoka came. He took over the empire and he fought a Kalinga war. He got a victory, but this changed him totally. So after the Kalinga war, Asoka was totally changed from previous times. So now we are going to see about the sources. In the sources, first we will see the literary sources. Literary sources means the related to books. So these sources were got from the books. So there were two books. First name was Arthashastra. So the Arthashastra was written by Chanakya, who was also known as the Vishnugupta as well as Kautalya. Chanakya was also known as Vishnugupta as well as Kautalya. So he wrote the book in Sanskrit language, book named Arthashastra. So in this book, there was many principles, how to deal with the other rulers, how to fight and how to gain a victory over other rulers. This was totally and completely it was written in this book Arthashastra. So Chanakya was the advisor or the president or prime minister, whatever you can say, of the Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, so Chanakya was one of the important person in war as well as in personal life of Chandragupta Maurya. So Chandragupta Maurya believed on whom? Kautalya, Chanakya. So Chanakya helped Chandragupta Maurya to give the rules of diplomacy. So how to deal with, how to gain victory over other rulers. So Chanakya was considered as one of the bravest, intelligent person at that time. So this book, he wrote this book in 1909. So this book was written in Sanskrit language, but this book is now also available in English. So we can take this book will be also available in English language. So second book, Indica. So Indica was written by Megasthenes. So Megasthenes was the Greek ambassador at the court of Chandragupta Maurya. So Megasthenes was the first Greek general, first Greek philosopher to come in India, and he wrote a book named called Indica. He was actually sent by Seleucus. So we will see in the next videos that Chandragupta Maurya defeated Seleucus. He was the general during Alexander times. So Seleucus sent this Megasthenes to the court of Chandragupta Maurya, and he wrote the book name called Indica. So this Indica's book contains the whatever Megasthenes had observed or experienced while being in India. It is written in this book name called Indica. So he wrote all his experience about India, and being in India he wrote this book Indica. So originally the Indica book has been lost. So the original book which was written by Megasthenes is lost, but its newer version translation has came, like authors like Strabo, Arian, like this three. There were three authors who wrote the new translation of this book Indica, but the original book was lost. So in archaeological sources, first we will see Ashoka edicts. So first we have to know what is edicts. Edicts is a decree or a command issued by a ruler. It's a decree or a command issued by a ruler. So Ashoka wrote many edicts on rocks as well as on pillars. So the edicts were written on pillars as well as on rocks. So these edicts were the old, best preserved and properly dated records of India. So these edicts were the old but the best preserved one, as well as the proper date were mentioned on these edicts. So how Ashoka motivated for this Dhamma's principles we will see, and how Ashoka motivated to spread Buddhism and universal brotherhood among all. So this was one of the Kalinga War. Kalinga War was one of the main reason, so that the Ashoka was completely or totally changed in his political as well as in personal life. So he wanted to spread Buddhism and unity, universal brotherhood among everyone. So he wrote many edicts on pillars as well as on rocks. There were 7 pillars and 14 major rock edicts, as well as several minor rock edicts were there. So what the rock edict 1 contents of Ashoka is that at that time many animals were given for sacrifices. So the rock 1 edicts displays that the no animals should be put to death. So this was the first edict of Ashoka, was written that hereafter no animals shall be put to death. So this was the first edict of Ashoka. So next archaeological sources was Sanchi Stupa. So Sanchi Stupa is located in Madhya Pradesh. Sanchi Stupa is in Madhya Pradesh. So what is the actual shape of structure of the Sanchi Stupa? A Sanchi Stupa is a spherical dome-like structure. Sanchi Stupa is a spherical dome-like structure, and in this Sanchi Stupa there were several relics of Buddha. So there were several relics, the things which belongs to Buddhism were there in this Sanchi Stupa. So like hair, teeth, and this kind of things were kept in a cascade at the base of the dome, at the base of the Sanchi Stupa. There this teeth, hair, skin, this kind of things are relics which belongs to Buddha, were kept in a cascade and at the base of the Sanchi Stupa. So this Sanchi Stupa is located in Sanchi, 45 km away from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. So this Sanchi Stupa is located in the place called Sanchi, which is about 45 km away from Bhopal. And there were four gates in all directions. So there were gates in every directions. So there were 4 gates. And what information is given about Sanchi Stupa is that the Buddha, so the Buddhism or the Buddha is represented by the symbols like people tree, where the Buddha got enlightenment, which was also known as Mahabodhi tree. So this people tree, lotus, or these are the symbols which represents the Buddhism or the Buddha. As well as on the pillars there were sculptures of lion. At the starting first we can see that in the Sanchi Stupa there were sculptures of lion on their pillars. So now we are going to enter in the chapter the Mauryan Empire. So we will see about Chandragupta Maurya. So Chandragupta Maurya was the founder of Mauryan Empire, and there is not more information given about his childhood. So according to one legend person, it states that Chandragupta Maurya was the general of the Nandas. So once time he was in the service of Nandas, and he was dismissed from the service by the Nandas, as well as so he has to take revenge over Nandas, because he has been dismissed by Nandas. As when he went in Taxila, he met Chanakya, who was also known as Kautalya. So this Chanakya also has to take revenge on Nandas, because he has been insulted by the Nandas. So the Chanakya was being insulted by the Nandas, so he also has to take revenge over Nandas. And this Chanakya and Chandragupta Maurya has a similarity between them, that they both has to take revenge against whom? Nandas. So they both has to take a revenge, and they both joined their hands to defeat whom? To defeat the Nandas. As well as, so then one of the information is given that Alexander the Great was one of the greatest ruler. He has conquered the northwestern part of India. So after his death, after Alexander's death, the Indian subcontinent was captured by Chandragupta Maurya. So after the death of Alexander, so the Indian subcontinent were captured by Chandragupta Maurya with the help of Chanakya. So after some times in 305 BC, Seleucus, a Greek general called Seleucus, who was the army of Alexander, so he attacked India. So he attacked to recapture the places or Indian subcontinent which were being captured by Chandragupta Maurya after the death of Alexander. So he wanted to recapture that, so bring it back to under their control. Now it was under the control of Chandragupta Maurya. So Seleucus, one of the Greek general of the Alexander, he wanted to take it back from the Chandragupta Maurya. So what he attacked India, but it was defeated by Chandragupta Maurya. Seleucus was also defeated by Chandragupta Maurya, and after his defeat, there was a treaty signed between Chandragupta Maurya and Seleucus, and this treaty was treaty means the agreement. So this agreement made clear that the 4 places, Kabul, Kandahar, Baluchistan, and one more place, this will be given to Chandragupta Maurya. So this treaty confirms that the Kabul, Kandahar, Herat and Baluchistan will be given to Chandragupta Maurya. And now he also, Seleucus said that his daughter Helen will marry Chandragupta Maurya. So Chandragupta Maurya will marry Seleucus' daughter Helen. So this made it clear that there were no war or attack to be came from the Alexander side hereafter more. So they have a treaty, they have a agreement. So Chandragupta Maurya was going to marry Seleucus' daughter Helen, and so they have a friendship with them. So hereafter there will no attack coming from the northwest subcontinent of India. So this continent or this region were given to Pushyagupta by Chandragupta Maurya. Give this region to Pushyagupta to rule this. So this region was under the control of Pushyagupta. He was elected by the Chandragupta Maurya. So after this all, so Bindusara succeeded his father Chandragupta Maurya. We saw that Chandragupta Maurya gave, after 20 years of his throne, he gave his kingdom or the empire to his son Bindusara. So Bindusara was given a title Slayer of Foes. Slayer of Foes means the enemy, killer of enemy. So he was given the title for killing the enemies. So he was given the title Slayer of Foes by the great historians Authenticus. Authenticus calls him Bindusara as the Slayer of Foes. So during his Bindusara's rule, he faced the revolt in Taxila. Where was Taxila? So Taxila was quelled by his second son, Asoka. Who was Asoka? Asoka was the second son of Bindusara. So Taxila was quelled by Asoka. So he faced that revolt in Taxila, and after defeating, he had a friendly relations with Greece. Bindusara, he was also a great ruler. He defeated 16 rulers during his time, and during his rule he faced a revolt in Taxila, and he made a friendly relations with Greece. So now we will see about the Asoka the Great, the second son of Bindusara. So Asoka succeeded the throne of his father Bindusara. So after Bindusara's death, Asoka succeeded the throne, and Asoka was given the title Divana Priya as well as the Priya Darsani. So Divana Priya means the beloved God, beloved one of gods. So the person who is being loved by the God. So the meaning of Divanam Priya is the person who is loved by the God. As well as he got the second title Priya Darsi, means the most beautiful, the most handsome one. Who? Asoka. Asoka was given two titles, Devanam Priya and Priya Darsi. So Asoka, we have seen Asoka. The main and the conquest of Asoka was the Kalinga War. He fought a Kalinga War. Kalinga means which is now in Odisha, which you say. So the Kalinga War was fought by Asoka, and it has also completely changed the life of Asoka. So we will see the conquest of Kalinga War. So Asoka, according to Megasthenes, so we have seen Megasthenes wrote a book named called Indica, and he was the Greek ambassador at the court of Chandragupta Maurya. So Megasthenes, according to Megasthenes, this rulers of Kalinga had a powerful infantry, cavalry and elephants. So these rulers of Kalinga were the very strongest, and they were not more defeated by anyone. And Asoka the Great had defeated these rulers of Kalinga, and after this end there were death of many peoples happened in this war. So many people died in this Kalinga war. After this all, the Asoka concluded that we will not fight a war. We will not fight a war hereafter. So we will see how Ashoka was changed, how the Kalinga wars changed Ashoka's personal as well as political life. So first we will see that Ashoka ordered that he will not fight, there will be no violence, but he will win or he will get victory in all directions, which is also called Digvijay. So he will get victory in all directions by winning the heart of the people, means by preaching Buddhism or any religion, or making the or spreading universal brotherhood and peace and unity among everyone. So he will win according to his dhammas and principles. So he will win the heart of the people, not by the war. And second thing, what has changed Ashoka is that he stopped hunting. He stopped hunting, killing animals, and also as well as he stopped eating meat. He was eating meat. He stopped eating meat, and he followed as well as he stopped living a luxurious life. So first only we saw the two what main point of the conquest of Kalinga war is the Ashoka did not want to fight anymore. He wanted to win the people heart, win the people by the love. And second, what he stopped killing animals as well as he stopped eating meat and living a luxurious life. He want to lead a simple life. And the fourth is what Ashoka said is, so the prisoners of war, prisoners we may say, in Hindi we can say Kaidi. So the prisoners of war, during the war there were people from the Kalinga sides, they were brought as a prisoners, कैदी बनाकर लाया गया था. तो उनसे क्या agricultural, they have to do agricultural work. So it helped, how it helped, agricultural means it developed growth in production of agricultural items, and this food production was developed, and this so economic rate was increased. There was economic growth, economic rate was increased. So these prisoners of war were being used as agricultural workers. And one more thing what Ashoka started to follow Buddhism as well as he started to spread Buddhism. He wrote about many things related to Buddhism on his edicts also. Edicts. We have seen the Ashoka edicts. So he wrote, as well as he spread the non-violence, ahimsa, which we say to deal with others say greatly, not to fight a war and win, lead a simple life. So this became the main aim of Ashoka. So he sent many of his missionaries to spread Buddhism in the different part of the country. As well as not only that, he also sent his daughter, whose name was Sanghamitra, and his son Mahindra in Sri Lanka to preach Buddhism. As the Ashoka started to preach Buddhism, as well as he sent his missionaries to spread Buddhism, and his daughter Sanghamitra and his son Mahindra in Sri Lanka to spread Buddhism. So these were the main reasons were given that Ashoka has completely changed in his personal and political life after the conquest of Kalinga war. So this is the main one question arrives here. This how Ashoka has changed, how the political and his personal life of Ashoka changed. So it changed due to the conquest of Kalinga war. After fighting a Kalinga war, he saw the many people were died and destructed for this in this war, and after this all he decided to follow a simple life. So all general armies went home. So and these were one of the reason for his decline. Said that their armies were not ready to fight as they went home, and Ashoka will also not allow them to fight. Ashoka has ordered non-violence. He want to spread non-violence, so he will not allow his armies to fight. So the battles were stopped by Ashoka after this conquest of Kalinga war. He built 84,000 stupas. He ordered to construct 84,000 stupas to keep the relics of Buddha. Relics means the things which were related to Buddhas, so which identifies the Buddhas, like hair, skin, teeth, were kept in a casket near the base of the dome, as we seen in the Sanchi stupas. So Ashoka ordered to construct 84,000 stupas for Buddhism, to spread Buddhism. His main aim was to spread Buddhism and attain us peace, unity, and universal brotherhood among each and everyone. So, what were the extent of Ashoka's empire? Were that it extends from Hindu Kush in the northwest to the river Pennar in the south. It also included some part of the Nepal, Kabul, Kandahar, and Herat. So we have seen this Kabul, Kandahar, and Herat were the northwestern part during the Mauryan Empire. So that's all for today. So Mauryan Empire extended from Kabul and Kandahar in the northwest to the Mysore, Karnataka in the south, and from Bengal in the east to the Saurashtra, Gujarat in the west. So in these directions the region were covered by Chandragupta Maurya. The Mauryan Empire extended in these regions only, from where Kabul and Kandahar in the northwest to the Mysore, Karnataka in the south, and from Bengal in the east to the Saurashtra, Gujarat in the west. And so after 20 years of ruling, Chandragupta Maurya re-announced that he was going to give the whole empire, vast empire, in the control in the hands of his son Bindusara. So after 20 years of ruling, this Chandragupta has decided to give this empire to his son Bindusara. So Chandragupta Maurya will be succeeded by his son Bindusara.